switch to a discussion of immigration. I'd like for you to basically explain your philosophy on the issue of illegal immigration. What would be your priority in dealing with the steady influx of illegal immigrants into the United States?
My immigration plan contains 3 steps, each of which would need to be undertaken simultaneously. First would be enforcing the southern border. We need more boots on the ground, more border patrol agents, more equipment, physical barriers, fences, and also surveillance equipment. And we need to reverse the magnets that are bringing illegal aliens into this country and keeping them here. Reverse the magnetic poles, and they'll have the opposite effect. Instead of bringing them in, they'll drive them out. Now, people who have come here illegally are people for whom I have great sympathy, because most of them come from circumstances of abject poverty, and my heart goes out to them. But they have come here not because of their love of all things American, not because of their affinity for baseball and hot dogs and apple pie. They've come here for a job so that they can build a better life. If that job were to disappear, they'd go home, because home is familiar, and when the job disappears, they'll return to it. They would start to return because those jobs would disappear as soon as we start aggressively enforcing laws that have been on the books for decades already. Laws that say if you hire an employee knowing full well that that person is an illegal alien, you're going to face very substantial penalties. You'll be fined many thousands of dollars, and in some circumstances even imprisoned. If we enforce those laws more consistently and more aggressively, those jobs would dry up. And when those jobs dry up, those who are here because of those jobs would self-deport. Now, another part of the problem, another part of why these people come here and then stay here, sometimes even after their jobs are gone, is that they live off our entitlement network. Now, they're not supposed to be getting our entitlements if they're illegal aliens, but their children might be citizens and therefore entitled to those. That's why we had to close the birthright citizenship loophole by enacting H.R. 1868, making clear that you're entitled. Under H.R. 1868, you get birthright citizenship only if you have one parent who at the time of your birth was a citizen, lawful permanent resident, or a soldier for the United States in active full-time military service.
So I proposed a plan on dealing with immigration as follows. It's a 4-point plan, and in part, it's a response to a federal government that is ignoring this problem. You see states like Arizona rising up and putting in place their own legislation because the federal government is ignoring its responsibility, its constitutional responsibility to protect the borders, to enforce laws that are on the books. The executive branch is completely ignoring those laws already. We don't need new laws in that regard. We need to enforce the existing laws that are already on the books. But my plan has 4 parts. Number 1, we have to secure the borders. We have to be serious about securing the borders. Today we have a perverse incentive in place. We have a de facto open border policy. We punish people, legal immigrants, people who want to come in through the legal channels, and we reward people who will come in through illegal channels. We say 5 years, $5,000 if you want to come in legally, we'll get back to you. But if you want to come in illegally, come in all day long. That's a perverse incentive. We also punish companies that want to follow the law. They want to hire legal citizens or legal immigrants. And we reward those companies that are willing to break the law and hire illegal immigrants. It's a perverse incentive. So the structure needs to be dramatically changed. So point number 1, secure the border. Spend the money we need to on border security. We double the border patrol. We finish the fence. We look at ways that we can use satellite imaging, laser detection devices at high volume crossing areas. We really enforce the border instead of closing a blind eye to it. Today we're locked out of wilderness areas on the border. Drug trafficking can come across. Illegal immigrants can come across, and we can't even access our lands because of our own legislation. It's absolutely out of control, and it's ridiculous. Number 2, we have to look at taking away the incentives, not just the anchor baby people that Mike mentioned, but also health, education, and welfare benefits that accrue and are magnets to people that want to come over and utilize those programs. Number 3, we have to look at our workplace laws and enforce those, E-Verify systems. 287G will be local law enforcement issues, but we have to hold those employers feet to the fire. And number 4 is to reform legal immigration, to make it simpler, fairer, because today it's a closed door and an open